What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. With the start of the PvP season coming up, I thought I'd take some time to give you guys a quick guide. The goal of this video pretty much is going to be to give you guys as much information in as little time as possible, so you don't have to spend so much time here. You get to, go hang out on the game, play some more. Anyway, first off, we're going to hop into the talents. But this is like what I would use in Arena. So first off, I'd take Find Weakness. Now it is only 20% in PvP, but it's still the go-to option for sure, providing like the most consistent damage increase. You can take Gloomblade if you're against Paladins, as it does allow you to hit through Blessing of Protection, and it can score some pretty nice kills. Find Weakness doesn't add that much damage, so it's not a big deal to do this. Having Gloomblade is definitely really nice still. And Weapon Master, it's not bad, but too much RNG. Next row, Subterfuge provides the most utility, allows you to do some really nice setups. You can vanish, you get off 2 cheap shots, kidney shot on the third target, that kind of thing. It makes vanish really powerful, also makes your dance last a little bit longer, which can allow you to have that like little bit longer window to land some saps and stuff like that. It's not the overall best throughput talent. I mean, Shadow Focus and Night Stalker do provide more damage. You can use Night Stalker if you're going for a one-shot build, but Subterfuge is definitely the best arena-oriented talent in this row. The next row, I am going to be now going for Mark for Death. In a previous video, I was using Vigor because I didn't like playing with 100 energy at the time. Just kind of takes some getting used to be honest. The added utility from having Mark for Death and being able to have that on-demand kidney shot at the start of a match is really important sometimes in situations where you can't get saps and things like that. Moving into the following row, Soothing Darkness. Pretty much if I'm playing 2v2 as double DPS, I'm out in the world, or anything like that, I will be using this pretty much all the time. Cheat Death is okay. It could be good against stuff like enemy RMPs or Thug Cleaves, things that have really high burst in a short period of time. It's probably going to be the go-to option for that, but it does have a 6-minute cooldown, and it is still possible to die through it, so it's not my personal favorite. I personally avoid this talent, but definitely there are some situations when it can be useful. Elusiveness, even though Feint's got a cooldown, 30% less damage for 5 seconds on a 15-second cooldown is still pretty powerful. It is going to be the go-to if you have a healer behind you. Moving into the next row, Shot in the Dark is definitely good, providing that free cheap shot, which is essentially 2 free combo points. That's definitely really good, and it is good if you're by yourself. However, in Arena, Prey on the Weak is still the best. In PvP now, it's only 5%, but that is very good support for your teammates, and I suggest picking it up for sure. I'm going to take this pretty much every game. I don't really plan on using Shot in the Dark. I don't even use it out in the world. This Night Terrors thing, it needs to get buffed or changed because it is not good at all. Anyway, following row, Dark Shadows. PvP, it's only 15%. It is the best option as it provides burst. If you're playing something like RMP or Thug Cleave, once again, it will definitely be required to get your kills in those short burst windows. Master Shadows following row, probably the best option still. Shuriken Tornado is just not practical. It's not good in PvP. Even if you try to slam it out with Dance, it's not that good. A Secret Technique, on the other hand, very good for burst. I use this a lot of the time in the world when I'm doing like a one-shot build or something like that. But in Arena, I take Master of Shadows still because you can't really afford to play without Subterfuge in Arena, and Master of Shadows really helps for that energy efficiency. You don't have room to take Shadow Focus and stuff like that. Getting onto the Honor talents now. So for Honor talents, my default two, Cold Blood, Phantom Assassin. I take these every single game. I will never switch these. I will take Smoke Bomb too most of the time, but there is some other things that are useful situationally. And if I was out in the world, I run around with Maneuverability because it's really nice for escaping and stuff like that. Although I'd say the general focus of this video is Arena, but definitely try to include some world PvP tips because with War Mode out and stuff, that's what I spend a lot of time doing these days, especially since there's no active PvP season at the time of this video. But anyway, Smoke Bomb, really good. Situational things that could be useful. Shadowy Duel could be useful in some matchups against certain targets that can't really escape you, and you have more than enough damage to finish them off by yourself. But overall, Smoke Bomb's probably going to be more viable in general. There are things in here you can play around with, so don't be deterred. They're just very situational. Death from Above, provides a little bit extra mobility. Its damage is not really that efficient now that it only increased the eviscerate by 10%. So I don't really recommend it on that aspect, but if you're trying to avoid, say, an enemy Mage Rogue opener in 2s, something like Death from Above could be a viable option. Shiv is very powerful as well, but we just don't really have room for stuff like this, unfortunately. And Silhouette could be potentially useful against Hunter teams, but I don't see a lot of other rogues trying it out. Can be used to step your healer, and then you eat a trap, and it doesn't punish you as hard for using that Shadow Step. Your Shadow Step will then come back faster off cooldown. Really recommend that, but it takes some more testing, honestly, because Smoke Bomb is just really hard to give up. Very good in every situation. Okay, let's drop into some Azerite traits here quick. Alright, so I don't have all of these to give you guys the correct tool tips and stuff like that, but we have, first off, okay, the trait you want the most is not this one. You want one, it's called Blade in the Shadows. It has the same icon as Shadowstrike, and I've had terrible luck so far. I don't have any of these. And what this will do is every time you use Shadowstrike, it's going to stack a buff for 1 minute, and it'll increase the damage of your next Shadowstrike. It's easy as hell to maintain. It's going to stack up 10 times for you, and if you stack 3 of these, it increases the damage of your Shadowstrike by a whole lot. It's really, really good, versatile, and you don't have to worry about being CC'd on it as it lasts a minute, and it's not as bad as some of the other procs that, maybe they proc just as you get CC'd and you're going to waste their effect. Really, really super consistent, and highly recommend getting Blade in Shadows as the #1 option. Number 2 option is going to be a toss-up. Inevitability is what I've been using. It increases your Shadow Strike and backstab by a little bit, and extends the duration of Symbols of Death. You stack these, it actually will make it so that Symbols of Death will be extended by additional time. So I have 2 right now, so every time I backstab, it extends it by a second. It's pretty good, but I mean, you don't really train people down, so that part of the effect isn't that necessary. It's more of the flat increase for backstab and Shadow Strike. Now, there is a current option that is amazing, and it potentially is even better than both of these, but I have a strong feeling it's going to get nerfed. And I think if I check my traits real quick, I should have one kicking around. I think it was on my chest piece. Yeah, it is. Sharpened Blades. So basically, I said in a previous video that this thing wasn't that good, and at the time of that video, it wasn't. Somewhere along the lines, it got buffed. And if you stack 3 of these, basically you build it up to 30, and it will allow you to hit your Shadow Strike for about, or not, sorry, Shadow Strike, Shuriken Toss. You can hit for about 50k, I believe, if you have Find Weakness and Dance Up. And that's ridiculous. A ranged attack hitting for 50k from a rogue. I wish I had some clips of this to show you. I think a couple streamers have been using these traits as well. I think I'd seen Peekaboo the other day playing with this, and he was like just destroying people out in the world. Really recommend playing this. I don't know if it'll get nerfed. It actually does rank fairly high on DPS meters for how good it is for PvE on single target, but I think that it is kind of intended, because I don't think they want it to be useless, but hitting for 50k, I can see that get nerfed a little bit in PvP, even though it's not that much better. If it gets nerfed at all, just play Blade in the Shadows and Inevitability. They're just going to be way better if this thing gets nerfed at all, but for now, play Sharpened Blades if you have it. It's fun. And then other than that, if you can't get your hands on those, just try and get things that aren't going to proc, that are going to break CC. Like this Ruinous Bolt thing is terrible. Don't play this. It just breaks everything. I'm pretty sure it even cancels your own Vanish when it procs. But other than that, #1, Blade in the Shadows. #2, Inevitability. And #3, that awesome Sharpened Blades talent. Alright, lastly here, I want to talk about stat priority real quick. Best stat, Mastery, of course, has been for years. If you look it up for PvE, crit is actually on top. So PvE, I try to go crit mastery. But in PvP, crit is definitely weaker, because crits are only 50% of the value in PvP. And so you might think, hey, well, versatility's better, but we kind of need crits to score kills. Even if they are weaker, they definitely just kind of add variance, and it will allow you to score kills in more opportunities than not. And if you have versatility, on average, you might burst harder, but you're not going to crit as much, and a lot of those kill attempts aren't just going to be kills at all. More or less, that's the short form of it. You want to go Mastery, crit, versatility, and then haste. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys found it useful. If you're wondering about openers, I'm going to make a totally separate video just talking about openers, so that I don't give you guys a quick answer on that one, because there is definitely different ways to open. But until next time, please give this video a like if you thought it was good or helpful. Subscribe for more, and we'll see you guys all next time.